Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transports. So this is video 13 of the Rivarossi Edison tram overhaul, and I'm going to show you how to refit the guardrails. So doing a short recap, last night I fitted the bodywork back onto the chassis because I wanted to see how it fitted the step, because you can see that, as you saw in previous videos, I refitted the step by fitting a small piece of styrene here on the bodywork, and then gluing the file down step, filing it down at the front and at the back like so. The problem is that we're quite close to the chassis, so I did a test last night, and then I tweaked it a bit here and there, and then I decided to just refit the chassis and refit the bodywork on the chassis, or the chassis on the bodywork, whatever way you want it. Anyway, I've decided to everything's ready. I've added a spot of technical petroleum jelly to the bow collector contact in here, to the upper contact, to the brush contact that comes in contact with the bow collector, and that's the bodywork fitted. To see how to remove and refit the bodywork on a chassis, refer to video, I think it's video number 10, the one in Italian. I'll add it to the description box, because honestly I don't want to open this thing again, because every time you go in here and you bend the plastic bodywork outwards to disengage these lugs, you're risking it, because I have to think that this is very old plastic. So that's refitted, but I wanted to show you, and you can see this even in the Italian video, how to refit the guardrails, which is very, very, very simple. So we'll just take the trailer car as an example. If we look at the trailer car, if we look carefully at the trailer car, you'll see that the guardrails are get pushed in, and they're caught right in front of right behind, if we're coming from the cab, in the direction of the cab of travel, behind the lugs that hold the bodywork onto the chassis, and then they're held in position by these slots on the axle boxes. So we're just going to do the exact same thing. It's very simple. They just press in. So I'll just show you how it's done. Let me add a pair of enlarging glasses here, because I can't see what I'm doing otherwise. Righto. In the meantime, my painter and decorator is very busy in the living room kitchen, so that's in there like that. This one catches in here like that. I'm trying to show you, see, we're in like so, and then all we have to do is sort of push it in there. Oops, I pushed this one in. Let's push the other one in as well. Just invite it to go in, and you just push it in by hand. I've done it various times. Okay, and there we are. Just press it in. Maybe use a pair of tweezers just to make sure it's well pushed in out of the road like that. And there we go. There's our guardrails fitted nicely. Very simple. Let's do the other one. It's in the wee box here. We catch it. See, this is well in position. We catch it in front of or behind the lug, and hey presto, in it goes. Bob's your uncle. And that's that. So that's the tram finished. I still have to repaint this piece of styrene, and I think I'm going to add a little tiny sliver just to replicate this step here. I'm very, very undecided, because by the time I paint this, it will be totally invisible. I think I might be wasting time, because see, there's a tiny little step here that sticks out, the floorboards there. It is really, we're talking about fractions of a millimeter, and the same story applies here. I would have to add the sliver here. So what it did, this is, glue and glaze is quite a flexible glue. So this, when you put the chassis in, it doesn't touch, but it gives that degree of flexibility when you're taking a chassis out for maintenance and so on. And I don't know what my friend Nicola is going to do with this, if he's going to keep it for his collection static, or maybe I could make him a little running line to run it on. Remember that this here takes one polarity from the wheels and another polarity from the bow collector, so we can't run it on a normal layout. We have to run it on a dedicated system, which is very interesting, because the Rivarossi tramway system, having as a plane, sorry, and the picking up one polarity from the overhead and the other one from the wheels, it allows a very, very tight curves, lots of intersections without having to interrupt polarities. So there's no risk of short circuits, which is very, very interesting. And or if he decides to sell it on, I mean, this is actually worth something, so it would be a good business. And I'm very pleased I managed to get my hands on it and make this very long tutorial and dismantling it. And it was very interesting, because I'd never got my hands on a Rivarossi so far, so this was very useful for the channel. So we'll be seeing him shortly, and maybe when I go to see him, we might see some interesting cars, because he's a big classic car enthusiast. Interesting stuff over there that we could talk about and do some videos. And so what else was I going to say about this? So I'm undecided. It's really, then I added a spot of glue and glaze last night. I also reinforced the seal, the gluing here and here, just to make it a little bit more solid. You can see there isn't even a gap. There's no gap there between there's practically no gap between the platform and the step. It's like on the original. So I'll just have to paint this grey. I just have to paint it grey, and I'm not really decided whether to try and just replicate that part that I was forced to file off, because thickness wise this is 0.30 styrene, so I could just cut a tiny sliver of 0.30. Yes, I think I'll just cut a tiny sliver of 0.30 styrene of the same dimension, fit it on top with glue and glaze, and it'll do that sort of stepped effect here, sort of replicate the extension of the floorboards here onto the actual step. So I'll do that off camera, and I'll see you in the next one, when everything was painted as well. Okay, cheerio, and see you next time. Lovely tram. Then we'll have to clean the trailer. I've not touched the trailer. The trailer has a plastic chassis. It's a bit dusty inside, but I think I might just, on the trailer, I don't trust, prizing plastic on plastic open. We might be asking for trouble. So I'll just give this a really good clean. And this would be interesting, because if you open it, a modeler could even make the interior, could add people. We've got very good potential for customizing, no? But here what we have to do is remove all the rust from the chassis, from the guards, from the couplings. So we'll have to use the usual lighter fluids and my friend the fiberglass pencil, which will mean working in horrible latex gloves, in summer, yuck, and lubricate the axle, clean and deoxidize the axles and the axle boxes. So that'll be a quick job. We'll do this together. That way you can see it. So we're nearly finished, and then at the end we'll do a presentation video on the history of these trams to finish everything off. I still have to add the decal here, and I'm going to talk to you about making your own decals in a separate video this weekend. Okay, so we're nearly there. Let's couple them together just for fun. There we go. Nice. Cheerio, and see you next time.